Obviously this evening Mr. Kelly has got a caution. Firstly, I want to say that there's absolutely no question that this would not have happened, only for the fact that this issue had been publicly raised in the media again, because the PPS and the PS now had no interest in taking any action against Mr. Kelly, and they were happy enough to let the issue hopefully drift on long enough for us they could just sweep it under the carpet. I sent a strongly worded email to the PPS on Thursday asking a number of questions that had to be answered. They weren't going to go away. You know, the PPS are publicly accountable, so you know it's not only me they have to answer to. They have to answer to any member of the public, you know, who asks questions of what they're actually doing. Now, Mr. Kelly, of course, has an appalling criminal record, yet he receives a caution. Now, nationalists and Sinn Féin and others obviously will say that, well, the DUP's councillor Ruth Patterson got a caution. Well, there's a massive difference compared to a man whose criminal record is the length of my arm to a woman who's never committed an offence before in her life. So a caution in law and within the justice system is supposed to be for people who have committed a first offence or a minor offence and don't really have much of a criminal record. Well, I think blowing up the Old Bailey might count as a criminal offence, or maybe the police now think that was too minor to even warrant a mention anymore when they were dishing out this caution. So there's a massive difference between Bomber Kelly and Councillor Patterson. A massive difference. They should not be treated. And Sir Declan Morgan, the most senior judge in the country, made it very plain that no two cases can be compared. So I would caution Sinn Féin, don't be coming out and starting to compare Miss Patterson with Mr. Kelly, because they are two completely different individuals. One is a terrorist, and one, her whole life, has been a law-abiding citizen. You cannot compare those two people. So, of course, Mr. Kelly's caution is just to be seen to be doing something, because they were so embarrassed and they've been shamed into it. Now, the DUP didn't want to mention this anymore. Try and think back, how many months has it been since the DUP have asked any questions to the PPS in regards to Bomber Kelly, or the DUP have publicly highlighted the lack of progress in holding Mr. Kelly criminally accountable for his actions on that night. They haven't. They wanted it to go away. They were happy enough for it to be swept under the carpet. This issue has been forced. The PPS and the PS now have been forced into giving Mr. Kelly a caution. Now, the fact that they've given him a caution is absolutely laughable, and it makes him look even more silly than if they had to try and bury it for another couple of months. But you know, this is the country in which we now live, where justice is measured on how politically expedient it is, and justice is administered based on what is best to maintain the political status quo. I don't know. You know, where is the legislative or democratic mandate of the PSNI or the PPS to decide that, well, we'll treat this individual differently because he is a Sinn Féin IRA MLA, and we'll treat this individual differently because he's a union flag protester. You know, if a union flag protester, if Billy Hutchison, if Jim Allister jumped in front of a police Land Rover, if I'd done it, if Willie Fraser done it, we'd be put in jail. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But when Sinn Féin do it, when Bomber Kelly does it, well, the PPS and the PSNI don't want to know. They had to be forced. They actually had to be forced into taking any kind of action. And even then, the action they've taken is absolutely laughable. Now, here's the next question. There is hours that could be compiled of different takes and angles of video footage which clearly shows Mr. Dempsey from Carrickhill, who, I don't know what his group's called, probably Nationalists Offended by Everything or whatever they're called these days, but you see him also in breach of Section 46 of the Serious Crime Act, which Mr. Kelly wasn't even questioned on, of encouraging others to commit offences. So he was encouraging other young lads, stay here, block the Land Rover. That's in breach of Section 46 of the Serious Crime Act. Has he even been questioned? No. Now, I have numerous pieces of video footage taken from Sinn Féin's own publications and various YouTube videos of a number of young men trying to bash their way in to the police Land Rover, kicking the police Land Rover, punching the police Land Rover. And not to worry, PSNI, and I will contact the public order team tomorrow and let them know that I have still shots of all these individuals so the faces can clearly be seen. Now, Sinn Féin tell us all the time that they want to support the police. They are great fans of the police. PSNI, wonderful, best thing since sliced bread. Well, Mr Kelly obviously knows, and probably along with him the culture minister who protests against culture, bizarrely, would know who these individuals are who were kicking the police Land Rover, punching the window of the police Land Rover. So I'm hoping that they will help police with inquiries and go and identify these individuals so they can be charged. Because obviously, if we have people getting sentenced to 3-4 months in jail, maybe even longer, for offences such as kicking a police shield. Yet here we have a number of individuals, clearly on camera, trying to beat their way into a police vehicle, whilst the police were trying to carry out an arrest operation. So they tried to also stop that and get involved in the course of justice and an arrest. So why have these individuals not been arrested? Why has the PSNI public order team not put pictures of these individuals out? Because if a pensioner or a mother or just an ordinary woman walks down the street and they haven't told the Parades Commission, will the PSNI put their picture in every newspaper in the country? Yet when a nationalist clearly breaks a law and all the evidence is there, they don't even have to go and gather evidence. I'll take it down and give it to them. If the PSNI are stuck, I'm happy enough to help them out. I'll take the evidence down, I'll give it to them, I'll print out the still shots of all the individuals. So how quickly after I do this will we see these people's faces in the media being asked for people to identify them? And obviously you would like to think, because Mr Kelly and Sinn Féin, and also him being a policing board member, want to support the police, say, well, go to the police and identify these individuals. How quickly will that happen? Because there can't be two tiers of policing here. Look at the way they've treated flag protesters. Look at the way they've treated people involved in incidents relating to the 12th of July. Look at how those people have been treated. And look at how the nationalist community are being treated. And somebody please explain to me why the obvious difference. Why is countless people being arrested for the 12th of July coming back in East Belfast and not one single arrest in Short Strand? Not one. Now once again, I have video footage of those in Short Strand throwing bottles, missiles, attacking the people walking back, attacking the women and children. So while also happy enough to give that to the police, I'm happy enough to assist them, and they can maybe then try and even things up a wee bit here, because you needn't think that now you've went ahead and tried to appease those of us who are not happy enough to just sit back and let Sinn Féin they have it their own way by giving Mr Kelly a caution, because that's absolutely laughable. Never mind giving Mr Kelly a caution. That's gone now. We've made a fool of yourselves with that. At least try and redeem yourselves and go after those other people in the video who are guilty of breaking the law. So I will be contacting the public order team, and I will be taking any evidence I have, all of which has been gained by just access to social media and conventional media. So there's absolutely no reason why the police couldn't have got this themselves, but happy enough to help them out, and let's see the time scale, how quickly they go and arrest Mr Dempsey and the individuals who were present that evening trying to kick their way into a police Land Rover. Because let me tell you something, if Protestants are going to go to jail for kicking police shields or kicking a police Land Rover, well then the law is going to have to be equally upheld on both sides, and nationalists are going to have to be treated just the same. It can't be one rule for one and one for another, and this two-tier policing system, this appeasement of Sinn Féin and this justice sop to Sinn Féin, giving them access and putting policemen in every single avenue of justice and law in this country, has to stop. It's an absolute joke, and we will be holding the PPS and the PSNI to account, and we will be demanding